Alright, today we're going to be working on multiplying decimals. So this is page 24 in our notebook. And our title is Multiplying Decimals. Alright, and we have the steps. The steps are to estimate the product. You're going to be doing this by rounding. You are going to round most of the time to your nearest whole number. Then you're going to multiply as normal. Then you're going to place your decimal. So let's look at our first problem. Our first problem is 7 times 2 and 15/100ths. So if I were to round both of these numbers to the nearest whole number, 7 is already a whole number, and 2 and 15/100ths is closer to 2 than it is 3, so we would multiply it by 2. So I know that our answer should be about 14. So let's work it out. You want to put your number with the most digits on top. So for us, this time it is 2 and 15/100ths and 7. And we're setting it up just like a normal multiplication problem. And we're going to multiply like normal. 7 times 5 is 35. Carry your 3. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 gives us 10. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Now we're going to place our decimal. However many numbers you have behind your decimal, you have to also put behind your decimal in your end product. So looking at my factors, 2 and 15/100ths has 2 numbers behind its decimal. 7 doesn't have any numbers behind its decimal, so we're going to put 2 numbers back behind a decimal. So our answer to this problem is 15 and 5/100ths. Now our estimation comes in handy because you really want to see where to place your decimal to make sure that you've placed it in the right place. I knew that our estimation said our answer should be about 14. Well, it's 15 and 5/100ths. That's pretty close. It's only, 1 and 5/100ths off. If I were to put my decimal between my 1 and my 5, that would give me 1 and 505 thousandths. That would be a far way off from 14. So I would know that something wasn't right. Also, if I put my decimal back here between 0 and 5, 150 and 5/10ths is not close to 14. So I would know something was wrong. That estimation really comes in handy for placing our decimal and making sure we've got that decimal placed where it should be. Okay, our next example is 5 and 97/100ths times 2 and 1/10. So if we make an estimation, we're going to round to our nearest whole number. That would give us 6 times 2, telling us that our answer should be somewhere close to 12. So once again, I'm going to multiply. I'm going to put the number with the most digits on top. That's 5 and 97/100ths on the top. and 2 1/10 on the bottom. Then we multiply as normal. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 5 is 5. Drop a 0. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry your 1. 2 times 9 is 18. Plus 1 is 19. Carry your 1. 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 1 gives us 11. Add up. 7 plus 0 is 7. 9 plus 4 is 13. 9 plus 1 is 10. Plus 5 is 15. 1 plus 1 is 2. And 1 plus nothing is 1. So then I go back to my factors. I have 1, 2, 3 numbers behind decimals. So I have to put 1, 2, 3 numbers back behind a decimal. So our answer would be 12 and 537 thousandths. Our estimation told us that our answer would be about 12, and it is about 12. It's a little bit over 12. Next, we're going to look at some word problems. Abigail has a bottle that holds 12.1 ounces. She drank 5.8 bottles of water today. How many ounces of water did she drink? Okay. So we know that the bottle holds about 12 ounces. And she drank about 6 bottles. So if we multiply, 12 times 6 is 72. So our answer should be about 72 ounces of water. Okay, so let's work it out. 12.1 times 5.8. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. Drop a 0. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry your 1. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. Add that together. 8, 11, 10, 7. I had 1, 2 numbers behind decimals. So I put 1, 2 numbers back behind decimals, meaning that our answer is 70 and 1/1800 ounces. So was our estimation close? Yes. I can see that we've put our decimal in the correct place. And it was 70 and 1/1800 ounces. All right, Luke earns $11.75 per hour for gardening. If he worked 21 hours this week, then how much did he earn? Okay, so I know that Luke earns about $12 an hour. So that's our nearest whole number. We're going to have 12. And he worked for 21 hours this week. So if we multiply these numbers together, we should see about how much he'll earn for this week. So we multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. Drop a 0. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. Add it together. Luke should earn about $252 this week. Okay, so if we want to find his exact amount, we're going to put 11 and 7/500 on top and multiply that by 21. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Drop a 0. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 7 is 14. Plus 1 is 15. 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. Add that together. 5 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 0 is 7. 5 plus 1 is 6. 3 plus 1 is 4. 2 plus nothing is 2. Then I go back and look. I had 2 numbers behind decimals. So I put 2 numbers back behind a decimal. So my answer would be $246.75. And that's how we multiply decimals.